Hello, I'm Doug, and this is the Taste and Sensibility channel. And today we're at episode number 15 of Chilies and Peppers, and we are looking at Arapaho peppers, chilies. I found these. These were a total surprise to me. Right after I discovered these little tiny finger peppers that were all wrinkly and twisted and gnarled. I don't know what they were. A week or two later, they had these bigger ones that were similarly twisted, gnarly, wrinkled, green things. And it took me a while to figure out what they were because they didn't even know how to label it in the store. They didn't know how to charge me at their cash register. So they sort of said Chilaka on, the label closest to the chilies in the bin said Chilaka because they're all twisted and gnarly and wrinkled. But if you look up Chilaka in a book, it's darker, it's purple, it's twisted. I mean, it looks like this, but that's not the color. So I got them home and looked around and did some online research and figured out what they were. And I figured out they were Arapaho, formerly known as Cheyenne. So there's a confusion. I thought it was like the Washington Redskins things where they were naming things after Native American Indians, and they needed to change the name, but that wasn't it. There was some sort of Cheyenne thing in the UK, some sort of conflict about the name, and names are a big deal in chilies. Just be careful with names. So it came up as Arapaho as the new name of these wrinkly things grown mostly in the US, I think. And I brought them home, tasted them. It's like, whoa, that's pretty spicy. I like that. It's good. It's lively. It gets my attention. Let's take a look at that. So here it is. So all the online research I came across said 2,000 to 4,000 Scoville units. Unfortunately, this is not in Mark Miller's great book, The Great Chili Book, which has been my guide, my reference, my encyclopedia of all sorts of chilies, dried and fresh and every other way, and several recipes and a history. And I just love this book, and it tells me lots of things. But these guys were in a Latin market, and I didn't know what they were, and didn't have any experience. So we're just going to dive into them now, taste them fresh, taste them in a salsa, and I'll tell you what I find out. So let's go on and just cut into one. I don't see any reason to pick a certain one, but I want to just point out how curvy, gnarly, wrinkly this thing is. So and these have fairly thin flesh. It's not anything like a green pepper. It's not anything like a bell pepper or a poblano or a jalapeno. These have very thin flesh and they dry out quickly. It's pretty easy for them to lose moisture, I think. And then it looks all wrinkly. It looks like, oh, maybe they're not fresh because it's got so many wrinkles, but that's not the reason. They come wrinkly. But if you like the videos that you've been seeing here on this channel, please give this video a thumbs up. Like it and share it with people and leave comments and questions. Let us know you're here. And go ahead and subscribe to the channel and click on that bell to get notified when the new videos come out. I try to put them out on Mondays, but it doesn't always work. And I'm going to cut into this Arapaho, formerly known as Cheyenne. And I haven't really seen it on a lot of scales, books, descriptions, but I have a few pieces here. Let's find out. My Scoville pepper scale doesn't really have anything. It's not in Mark Miller's book, so I don't have anything there. So you do a little online research with a chili that looks like this, and you go, oh, that's the old Cheyenne thing. And so this one has very few seeds, at least where I cut it. And the seeds I am seeing are kind of light in color. There's lots of ribs in what I cut off, so let's just go ahead and taste it. Although I want to smell it first, see how close it is to a green pepper, an Anaheim, a jalapeno, something like that. So I love that green flavor. I love the green aroma. There's a little heat there. There's green and freshness. Maybe a fruitiness. It's very herbal. Very herbaceous. So let's not spread capsaicin all over my fingers. Let's just eat it. Oh, oh, oh. That's not 2,000 or 4,000. That's like 6, 8, 10, 12. This thing is hot. Wow, okay. Got my water here, got some crackers. I can rescue myself. But no, that's not a mild little thing like a 2,000, 4,000. No, that is way up there on the heat scale. 10, 12, 15. It's hard to tell from a little section from an individual. This packs some punch. And I know because I've tasted the salsa. I only put in 30 grams. And yeah, hot. It's goes much farther than anything that 2,000 or 4,000. So I'm not sure I've identified it correctly. So if you know more about it than I do, and most people, most pepper geeks will, please put it in the comments. So I'm enjoying the flavor. It's green, it's herbaceous, it's fresh, it's nice. But it's way up there above any kind of... It is on a jalapeno level. And maybe more. It is 6, 8, 10,000 Scoville units for sure. And like 5 and 6 on Mark Miller scale. It's on there. This is not a 2,000 or 4,000 like I see online. So the morphology is real interesting. It's very curvy, very gnarled, very wrinkled. Most of them were curved. They weren't the freshest things. I had a couple of different batches from these from the market. And they were all hot. I put them in salads. Wasn't always sure what to do with them because they're hotter than the little finger peppers that I saw. Okay, let's get a little rinse here. So I'm still not sure I've identified them correctly. But I really like them. I enjoy them. I've been using them. And I'll keep buying them as long as they're there. So the first time I saw them, they were labeled, the label closest to them was Chalaca, which is clearly not the case. They are gnarly and curled and twisted and have that shape, but they don't have the right color. Oh. So that wasn't right. And then second time I went through and bought some, they call them finger peppers. And they are easily twice as long as the finger peppers I did in the last review. Number 14. Oh man. So these are hot jalapeno plus level of heat. Have all the green flavor you come to expect in a green chili. They're fresh, partially fruity, interestingly fruity, but the heat is really taking over and it's the main thing. So I'm liking the flavor, and it's pretty easy to incorporate this sort of thing into lots of things I do. So I'm not sure what they are exactly, as you can tell. Now onto the salsa, which is the only other thing I have here. This is my base salsa that I make with canned fire roasted tomatoes from Whole Foods. And then I roasted the garlic. I roasted the onions on my grill. It's red onion, very sweet, and a white onion. And I throw all that together into a salsa. No additional salt, no cilantro, nothing to spice it up. I'm just trying to provide a tomatoey, oniony matrix to pick out the peppers in. And I can see the green specks in here. There, it's only 30 grams of the chili plus 300 grams of the base salsa. So let's find out what's on the palette here. Wow, it's really a lot of caramely flavors from the roasted onion, roasted tomato, roasted garlic. And a lot of sweetness from those. We can tell there's a green thing, even at 30 grams. 10% or 9% of the mass of this is this chili. It has a pretty big effect. I can tell some green thing. And that herbaceous notes are there. I can tell it's fresh. I don't think it's caramelized. But that could just be playing a trick on me because I know it's not roasted. I don't bother roasting these thinner fleshed varieties because it's really diminishing returns. I have to scrape off a lot of skin on a long dimension. It is very long. I'm not sure the return is worth it. You don't have enough green mass to give it that chili flavor. I'm just picking up a hint of it here. So there is greenness. There's herbaceous green notes. So a roasted version may work and may be successful, but I kind of pictured it as being diminishing returns here. That certainly applied to the Joala that I did on the last review, but I didn't say that at the time. I didn't do a roasted version of the chili. They're so small, so wrinkly, so hard to work with, and very thin fleshed. And you might not end up with much after you roast it and then pull the skin off. This one is great. Sweet salsa, a hot salsa, it's got lots of sweet notes, but it's got lots of the green herbaceous notes. More than I expect for the 30 grams that are in here. So if you see these chilies in the market, they are worth trying. They could work in a salad. It might be pickled okay. I don't really know where they grow them. I don't know the origin. And I may have misidentified them. That's the thing about chilies and peppers. Their names are misused all the time. And names are all that we have to go on most of the time. So this is good. I'm liking it. Very successful. And I hope I'm right or that someone can correct me and tell me something about it. So again, please like the video, like and subscribe, leave questions and comments, share it with friends. And we keep moving up the heat scale. And what's next? Something like a Thai chili or a Tabasco chili. Oh my gosh. Those have a lot of zeros behind the numbers. So stay tuned for all that stuff and cheers.